Here we have my 120 volt welder, 90 amps, Century FC90. I absolutely love this welder for the price that it is. I mean, it doesn't take the place of, say, a gas shielded welder, but it's 15 pounds. It's, you know, like what, 10 inches long, a little under 6 inches wide. Great little welder. Three things that I did that I did to change the way it welds. It calls for 035 NR211 wire. But it has a roller in here. All you gotta do is flip it over. One side is 3.5, the other side is 3.0. For the 3.0 wire, which is better for sheet metal, because on this chart it says go as low as 18 gauge, but nothing lower, like 20 gauge, for example. And statistically, the 35 is good for 16 gauge and thicker. So I went to the 30 wire, and the results have been pretty decent. So whenever you get a thin spot in the metal or something, it doesn't blow through as easily, and it's a little bit easier to control. So, I mean, this is a DC welder, so it's pretty straightforward. It's very easy to control as is. This right here is the number one thing. It's a $6 clamp. Now, when it comes to perfect metal, brand new from the foundry or whatever, the factory clamp will work. It just doesn't. It doesn't have the spring tension, and it doesn't have these copper electrodes. All you got to do is unbolt this bolt right here, thread the wire through, put it on. It's $6 at Harbor Freight. You can get them on Amazon for about $5 to $8, depending where. So this is a must upgrade. The step up from this would be a $15 all bronze one, but I don't really think that's really needed on a welder this low amperage. It doesn't affect it much. Now, like I said, I'm brand new metal. You won't really hardly see a difference, but it holds on tighter. And on metal that's not quite brand new, or maybe there's some paint or some, you know, a piece of junk like this, right? It's like my old Datsun. This will make the job a lot easier, more consistent weld. The other thing I did was, now it's a flux core welder, doesn't need a gas nozzle, right? However, I have found that with a gas nozzle, it's just easier and less headaches. Now, in a tight spot, like in a 90 degree, or like where you don't have much room, what this gas nozzle does, it doesn't affect the weld any at all, because it's not gas shielded. But what it does do is it keeps you from touching the side of something and welding the tip of the gun to your projects. That's what it prevents. And the other reason is, when this gets all clouded up, you don't damage the gun, you just wrap it against something hard, and all the slag just comes off. So welding without it and welding with it, again, the weld won't make a difference. Not on perfect conditions, but on less than perfect conditions, you'll be happy you spent, I don't know, what is this, like $8 for this thing? I was very happy with it. And yeah, so, you know, changed to a smaller wire for sheet metal. Now, sheet metal welding, MIG isn't the preferred process anyway, but it works. It works great for patches, and I've done all kind of rust repair with it. Changed to a $6 ground clamp. It's a little bit better. And you don't have to, but I highly recommend going with a tip off a gas shielded welder, because you're just gonna have an easier time. But overall, I've been very pleased with it. I've run, I think 4 or 5 pounds of, no, close to 10 pounds of wire through this already. Just welding here in San Diego. I've done a lot of work with this welder, and I'm very pleased with the results.